Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Serenity now, we look at the fallout from that US Open final. North Korea go big parade and apparently didn't show off their ICBMs. A case of stolen babies and fascism is going through the courts in Spain, causing loads of social media commentary. And to start the week, a baby tiger. It's animals doing stuff. Now, top of our newsfeed, Serena, sexism and sport. You kind of fail to have heard about the historic scenes in the Arthur Ashe Arena on Saturday. And days after, social media is still debating it, with strong arguments on all sides. Was Serena out of line? Well, yes, she did smash a racket. Was the umpire out of line? Yes, he could have called the game more sensibly. And what part, if any, did sexism play? Here's Jemima.
Ahead of Saturday's US Open final, Serena Williams looked poised to make history by setting the joint all-time record for Grand Slam singles titles. Instead, that match is being remembered for its controversy, accusations of sexism, and a $17,000 fine for the tennis star. Umpire Carlos Ramos gave Williams a code violation for coaching. 2 more penalties followed, costing her a point and then a game. During a heated discussion, Williams called Ramos a thief. In a post-match press conference, Williams accused Ramos of sexism, saying he wouldn't have punished a man for making a similar comment. Some people have taken to Twitter to say rules are rules, and that the player should take some responsibility. But the majority of the tennis community has rallied around Williams. Some male former pros like Andy Roddick say they've said much worse without being punished. James Blake has said the same, adding that Serena should have been given a soft warning first. Tennis legend Billie Jean King was one of the first to defend Williams, saying when a woman speaks out, she's labelled hysterical and penalised. But if it's a man, he's outspoken, and there are no repercussions. That's been echoed by others, like in this tweet. It compares Serena's so-called meltdown with a similar situation in a men's baseball match, which was simply described as arguing a call. People will continue to be divided over whether the unforced error was the umpires or the players. But one thing is sure, Serena is a force for change in tennis, and the conversation about double standards in sport will play on well beyond the match.
All right, let's have a look at some other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, Mac Miller died on Friday, and the internet has been paying tribute ever since. His contemporaries, his exes, and of course his fans have been writing and posting and tweeting about his loss. Now, he was 26 and died of a drug overdose. Many people hope that the legacy of his untimely death will not only be his art, but it'll also give people strength to talk about living with depression. The actor Olivia Nunn has given a really powerful interview to The Hollywood Reporter, and it's had a big impact online. She was promoting her new film, The Predator. Now, the film made headlines last week when it was revealed that a convicted sex offender was in it, and he had a scene with Olivia Munn, which she got cut. And some have criticised her for her stance of not wanting to appear or work alongside a man convicted of grooming a teenage girl. Here was her response.
I try to do the right thing, and that's all I can do is, when I see something, you do something. It's a very lonely feeling to be, sitting here by myself when I should be here with the rest of the cast. The Me Too movement, it really exists because of the people online who are appalled and outraged and are demanding that things be changed. That's their choice if they want to help that person. I wasn't given that choice. That decision was made for me. And my choice will always be to never give a second chance to anybody who hurts a child or hurts an animal.
North Korea has held its annual synchronized display of unity and military might. But there was a wrinkle this time. Those who know say there were no intercontinental ballistic missiles on display. Those are the ones that Japan and the United States are so scared of. So as well as looking weird and impressive, was this year's parade weird and important?
첨단 무기가 동원되어 있지만 그러나 핵과 관련된 이런 무기는 동원되지 않는 것으로 보입니다. 이러한 이 중거리, 장거리 이런 그 탄도미사일이 동원하지 않았다. 이것은 김정은 위원장의 이 비핵화에 대한 진정성을 보여주면서 빠른 시일 내에 미국하고 대화하겠다는 그런 메시지가 담겨 있는 것으로 분석합니다.
Thousands of babies were stolen from their mothers during Spain's fascist dictatorship. And now a doctor is on trial over his alleged role. Akanksha explains now how Spain's lost children dealt with what happened and speaks with someone who's working to help the families who've been affected.
These women are protesting outside a court in Madrid. Inside, the first trial is underway in connection with Spain's stolen baby scandal, where tens of thousands of babies were stolen from their mothers during Spain's fascist dictatorship under General Franco.
I'm 50 years old. I was stolen and I have not died. Here I am, look at me. I am 50 years old. I won't expire. No money is enough for any of us. They have stolen our lives.
In court, 85-year-old Spanish doctor Eduardo Vela is accused of stealing a baby and giving it to another woman.
The case against the doctor Eduardo Vela is an emblematic case, but there are many more in Spain on the same topic. There were cases since the end of the Spanish Civil War, till some of the cases are also in the 90s. This practice of the stealing of babies is an international gender crime against women because they are using their bodies as an instrument and as a territory to attack them. So in the case of Spain, it was very typical that all the women who were against the role that they should have as women for the Franco regime case, very good mothers, always staying in the domestic sphere, not going out, not having rights, not working outside from the house. They were punished, and they were punished stealing their babies to give them to families who did have these right-wing ideas or who were supporting the Franco regime.
Inés Madrigal says she wants justice.
Reading El País newspaper in 2010, I came across an article where two men say they were bought as babies from a nun in Zaragoza in installments. And the article mentioned the San Ramon hospital, which made the hair on my arms stand up like spikes. I got goosebumps. When the documents arrived a month and a half later, we could see my birth certificate was forged, and also that Eduardo Vela had signed the document certifying my adoptive mother giving birth, who was a woman who had never given birth.
But she isn't the only one. The practice of stealing babies began after the fascist General Franco came to power after Spain's 1936-39 civil war. Evidence is growing that the regime started removing newborns from families seen as Republican and given to families loyal to Franco. Babies born out of wedlock or to poor families are also said to have been taken. Some babies are believed to have been sold, with others sent as far as Argentina and Mexico. It was believed that the child would get better care if raised by a conservative and devout Roman Catholic family. The system involved a vast network of doctors, nurses, nuns, and priests. The practice continued after Franco's death in 1975. Many of the allegations haven't reached court, as the alleged crimes have passed the statute of limitations. But a long and painful fight for justice is far from over.
Now, we've all seen the people who stand behind politicians while they're making their speeches and wondered who they are. Well, one guy decided to take the role seriously, or not.
Then popular vote, you go to 3-4 states and boom, 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 you win it's like the 100-yard dash versus running the mile. You practice differently. She forgot that. Crazy Bernie. He is so crazy, but you know what? I saw him the other day on television, and he's ranting and raving. He's sitting behind a microphone. I'm going to do this. I'm going to that. Bum, bum, bum. The hair's flying. He's going crazy. We're winning in the United States now. We're winning on trade. We're winning with our military. We're knocking the hell out of the terrorists. We're winning now in the United States. You look at what...
Well, that guy, you can see over Trump's left shoulder there highlighted, made waves across the internet by pulling faces and asking if things were true, and generally looking so unimpressed he was asked to leave the rally. Well, he's now been on television and explained what happened. He says he was just reacting naturally to the lies he heard. He said that he did clap when he heard something he agreed with. His name's Tyler Linfesti, a.k.a. the Plaid shirt guy.
All of those reactions were my actual reaction. I would have made those faces if anyone were to say that to me. I was not trying to protest. Those were just my actual honest reactions. Yeah. So when I got back there, I knew that I was going to be genuine. I was going to give my actual reaction to the things he said. So whenever I disagreed with him, you could tell that I disagreed. But whenever I agreed with him, you know, I clapped. So the woman, she came in and she just said, I'm gonna replace you. And I just walked off. I knew I was getting kicked out for not being enthusiastic enough, so I decided just to not to fight it.
Okay, around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Monday. Now, Donald Trump almost sent a tweet that would have been read by North Korea as a threat of imminent military action. That's the reporting from the new book by veteran journo Bob Woodward. He alleges that Trump wrote a tweet that read, "We're going to pull our dependence from South Korea." Now, according to Woodward, this caused a huge panic at the Pentagon. So if this is to be believed, someone is checking some of the president's tweets. Woodward's book is out tomorrow. A Texas Ranger has been charged with manslaughter in the United States. The officer, Amber Geiger, somehow went into the flat of a man called Botham Shem Jean, thinking it was hers. She then shot him dead. It's unclear why, and it's unclear how she managed to get into a neighbor's home. The mother of Botham Shem Jean questioned if Miss Geiger would have opened fire had her son been white. And a Labour Party MP called Chuka Umunna has called his party, the party he's been in since university, institutionally racist. He said it during an interview with Sky News. Now, he was talking about the Labour Party's failure to accept a globally accepted definition of anti-Semitism. That fail has led to the Labour Party being accused of being racist all summer. The party have now accepted the definition. And Nike have had an interesting week. First, they picked Colin Kaepernick over Donald Trump and the racists who refused to recognize his right to peacefully protest police brutality against black people. Then their share price dropped sharply and people went online to show themselves burning Nike gear. Now they announced their online sales have soared. This is the ad they released. Just do it.
So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
And John Legend became the first black EGOT. That's someone who's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. And then his wife, Chrissy Teigen, posted this Instagram video of him adding to his already overflowing award shelves. Good work. And last up, here's some video of baby tiger cubs getting a checkup. Set your cute receivers to ah. Now, Dimitri, Makari, and Tsar were given this physical at a zoo in the UK. With names like that, they can only be one species. They're Amur tigers, known more commonly as Siberian tigers. There are 500 of them left in the wild, so the program in the UK is vitally important. But that 500 left in the wild is a huge increase on the numbers back in the 40s, where there were just 50. And that is all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Follow, subscribe, and add. See you again tomorrow.